What up, I'm Sevyn Streeter, and you're watching Idolater.
I love when you pull up in your Jeep, bumping all your beats. J's on with your shades on, just to bring me something to eat. You done made up in these streets, but when it comes to my
Rich Girl and writing, all of it was like very like pivotal when it comes, you know, to where I am today. It just played such a major role. I say all the time, Rich Girl kind of taught me how to be sexy a little bit, and you know, I met, you know, my management, and I met Chris Brown through Rich Girl, so thank God for Rich Girl, you know what I mean? In terms of, you know, writing, it's really a crazy timeline, because it went from Rich Girl to meeting Chris and Tina, then to writing with Chris and getting placements on Justin Bieber and on Chris's album and on Ariana Grande, and being able to write for so many artists. And just when you look at where we are today in terms of my project and things like that, none of this would even halfway even be possible if we hadn't gone through all of those different, or if I hadn't gone through all those different stages of my life.
and it won't stop.
I just knew that I loved it. I knew that I loved the song. You know what I mean? Just coming from a songwriter standpoint, period. You know, you write songs and you know which ones you love, you know which ones you don't. And I always we always loved It Won't Stop. And then when we would play it for people, they were like, oh, like it just feels good. And I'm just happy that people like it. I swear to you, I'm just happy that you like it. But no, we didn't know that, but I did know that it touched on something very real, and who doesn't want to be in love at the end of the day? You know what I mean? So,
Baby, hop in my ride. Who's hot as hell outside?
man, the role that Chris, you know, I can't say that Chris plays in my life and in my career, I don't even think we got enough time to really talk about that. No, seriously, it's in every avenue possible. You know, when I'm on the set of my video shoots, he's there behind the camera saying, you know, we like this angle, or Sevyn, do this, or, you know, stretch your arms like this, or, you know, so he gives me direction on video sets. And then when it comes time to recording and we're writing songs, he's just very open and very creative, and I've learned so much from him in terms of just writing, because a lot of people don't understand, a lot of his singles, he writes a lot of his records, so I learned a lot from him there too. And just, you know, just his whole spirit when it comes to just music, he just doesn't put himself in a box, and he, you know, he has conversations with me about that, you know, just do you and be who you are. And you know, he plays a very important role in my life.
When you give me that thunder, you make my summer rain.
I think there's a different side to everybody than what you see in the media, you know, in terms of Chris, or in terms of myself, or in terms of, you know, all artists. We are different people, especially when we're in, like, you know, let's say like a recording studio element. I am a straight up fool when we're in the studio. I'm a fool right now too, so I mean, we've been in here laughing the entire time. But you know, there are a bunch of sides to artists. I mean, that's why we're artists. We can go from one range of emotion to the other. It wasn't, let me tell you, the way that the EP came about, because I remember earlier last year, I'll be honest, I was kind of stressing, because I'm just like, okay, you know, I gotta create this album, or I gotta create these records, and I don't know what direction I want to go in. But from writing songs for other artists, and I know that my process with them is, okay, let's find out what they're going through in their life, and let's just write as truthfully and honestly about that as we can. So I kind of took the same approach with myself and my music, and I looked up, and a year later realized that the EP is about a relationship that I was in, when you really listen to all the songs. So literally the same person that I wrote It Won't Stop about when I was all in love, I wrote Bands about when I was so not in love. So you know, I definitely I didn't intend on the EP being this emotional roller coaster, but maybe I was a little bit of an emotional roller coaster last year, I don't know, so I wrote about it. I don't know what the next single is. I mean, I definitely have, you know, songs that I love and that I lean towards, but, you know, it's not really about me. It's about what y'all like to hear, what records you want to hear. So, I talk to my fans all the time on Instagram and Twitter, and they do love Next. A lot of them love Next, and they're like, oh my God, this is me and my boyfriend. Oh my God. And, so, and then some love Sex on the Ceiling, and some love Bands. So we haven't really, said this is the official Next single yet, but I say it's going to happen pretty soon. We're definitely going to pick one soon. Obviously I do, because I wrote about it, and that was definitely my life. I've gone through that. I feel like if you haven't gone through what the song Next is talking about, you probably are at some point in time. I mean, everybody has that one person that they feel very comfortable with, and that's the person that you get some good news, you want to call that person. No matter if you're together, if you're broken up, and the next thing you know, you're going back, and then it's forth. And me personally, I've definitely been through that. I say all the time, I definitely went through this phase of my life where it was hard to move on from my ex. So my ex-boyfriend became my next boyfriend, became my ex-boyfriend, became my next boyfriend, and so on and so forth. Sheesh. I actually just started back. This is like literally, you're catching me my first week back in the studio from being on the road and being home for the holidays, and here we are. So my first sessions back have been with the interns they did Bands and Sex on the Ceiling on my album. So got a lot of really dope producers that I'm gonna be working with. Probably a lot of the same people from the EP, D-Mile and Cam and them joints and Diplo Free School. So we're probably gonna go on with a lot of the same people. In terms of when the album's gonna come, that's always a little hard to really give a date, because we kind of just go off a vibe, and I'm very much so like that when I write the song. So I guess when I feel like the stories are complete, then we'll have an album date.